Hey Paris, hey, it's Mr. Upsaw. I just want to talk about a couple things. I know we met earlier this month, and we typically meet the last Thursday of each month. There are about 4 or 5 items I just want to make clear because we do not have a last Thursday of the month in December, and it's going to come very quickly. So, regarding Just Win, I hope it's going better, a little more organized. I know 3rd grade is large. Mrs. Warren has talked to me about she typically gets 8-9 students. So we definitely need some support there. Potentially Carlene Abel or Mrs. Mensing. Please support Kathy up in that wing. Mrs. Schumacher runs a story hour, and we are going to put Mrs. O'Connor in that position to help her also. There's a couple of high-need students that she might need assistance for story hour. So, again, let me know any hitches or we need to tweak Just Win. Second thing about Just Win is on December 19th, we are not going to have class for Just Win. There is going to be a training on repeated reading that all the K1, 2, and 3 teachers and all of the paraprofessionals that can make it, please report to Mr. Ebner's room for training on repeated reading and how that should look. All right, we're going to move on. PBIS. PBIS, again, we're going to start implementing that this year and definitely have a full-blown PBIS program starting next year, for next year's school year. On January 22nd, we would like all the pairs to come to our school for a little training. One, for PBIS training, then we're going to take a little break, and then we're going to start talking about matrix building for each area. We look at certain character traits for each hallway, lunchroom, recess, gym, assemblies, and create little matrices and post them in those areas. So kids can refer to those. You can refer to them when a situation happens that you need to correct and reteach. Then we'll have a little lunch, and then we're going to talk about lesson planning. At the beginning of next year, the first week of school, similar to what we do as bus safety, we're going to have you, the paras, the cooks, the bus drivers, empower you so you're actually teaching a lesson on behavior. But plan on this January 22nd for a little training. Middle school concept meeting updates. We are having, I think it's our 3rd meeting regarding middle school concept, and this idea came from our AYP committee meetings and also the CSI committee, which is a high school committee. We're looking at how we can tweak the 7th and 8th grade, or maybe it's 6th, 7th, 8th grade, or maybe it's 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade schedule, and also how we can look at getting more math and reading in their schedule. So we're looking at the middle school concept, the junior high schedule concept, or just looking at our own schedule and see how we can, one, make sure we have good rigor for our 7th and 8th graders, or 6th, 7th, 8th graders, make sure it's relevant to those kids, and also make sure we look at relationships. And I think that's the piece where we kind of go wrong here at Goodhue, where we have our 5th and 6th grade, they have a homeroom, they feel good about themselves, it's kind of a safe zone. But when they get to 7th and 8th grade, basically we release the chain and they really have nobody to turn to. Yes, they have an advisee classes, but they meet once a month. There's nobody checking their assignment notebook, per se. There's nobody for them to turn to besides, the 8 different teachers. And they really don't have one that is kind of their safe teacher that they can go to. So how can we bring that 5th, 6th grade model to a 7th and 8th grade? regarding the advisee. And also, how can we add more math and reading to their schedule? So those are some things that we are looking at. It'll be different, or we might just tweak it a little bit. They might have their own bell schedule. They might have longer classes and skinnier classes as far as length of time, but it's a little bit about time on task. And I'm going to jump down here. That kind of brings me to the AYP. I think we went over this a little bit, but I just want to reassure everybody that the AYP action plan really looks at 4 things for math and reading. 1, more time. Looking at other schools, they at least have 60 to 75 minutes of math or reading. Currently, our 7th and 8th graders are getting 45. That comes out to be almost 220 more hours of more math and reading that other schools are receiving that we're not. But we also got to think about what are we also giving our kids that the other schools are not. So it's kind of a push and pull situation there. The other goal is to investigate the middle school model, also to make sure we do K-12 alignment in reading and math. That is why the month of December, every Wednesday, our PLCs are going to do K-12 alignment. So it's going to be C days, curriculum days. And then the last thing is, how can we get more support, more peer support? Again, looking at that model that we have in our elementary and bring it to 7th and 8th grade, especially for math. But then you got to find paras or volunteers or people that love math, which is a tough find. Playground update. We have presented to the JCs. They've been gracious to give us $6,500 or $7,000. I presented to the Lions. They've agreed to give, but they have not told me how much. Also, we are still waiting on Treasure Island. I'm going to meet with our PTO committee, and also the school has been gracious enough to give between $40,000 to $50,000. Our whole plan basically cost again about $66,000 or $67,000, and we need to raise about $15,000 of that. So we are looking at those 5 areas, 5 organizations to support that, and we'll see what comes about that. But we are going to break ground no matter what come June for that project. Finally, just a little update in the office. Again, Deb Wilson, her last day is Friday, so make sure you stop by and say bye, I guess, to Deb. I know there's something planned on Friday for her a little bit in the lounge. Also, Peggy Kruger is her last year. She's going to finish the year out. But just so you know that the office structure is, as far as duties, are going to be looking to doing some shifting some roles, and maybe trying to change our dynamics in furniture or even in the office area a little bit. Student concerns. We are not here together to talk about these, but again, if there's something that the whole group needs to know, make sure you bring that up to our next meeting. Hopefully we can meet before we leave for Christmas break, but I'll get that word out to you. And also any Q&A, if you have questions about what's going on or anything, please stop by the office and hopefully I can help you out, or stop by and talk to Sheila. All right, thanks everybody. Again, just a reminder, keep up with filling out some slips. I also, a little high five, Judy Mann also helped me out when I was teaching for Corey. Thank you, Judy. You'll be getting one of these today. So keep it up, everybody. It's been a great start of the school year, and but I want to make sure I hear from you if there's things that we can improve on. Have a great week, everybody.